programming. NLP is a method that can change the way how you think. It promises quick results like feeling more confident, getting over your fears, stopping bad habits. It sounds like a shortcut, the shortcut you really want. Hi, myself Balwant Singh. Today, me and my teammates will tell you more about Neuro-Linguistic programming, which is called NLP. NLP started in 1970s by Richard Bandler and John Grinder. They asked, can we figure out how brain works and reprogram it just like updating an iPhone? And people jumped on it. Life coaches, therapists, and even businesses used it to make people more confident, productive, and positive. But here's the thing, while NLP sounds great, but science doesn't fully back it up. That's why some researchers call it pseudoscience. NLP has a lot of different techniques that people use to change the things how you feel and behave. One of these techniques is called anchoring. This means you connect to certain feelings like confidence to a small action like touching your fingers and pressing your hands to your chest. So later, when you do that action, your brain remembers the good feeling and you feel more confident. They might even help with fear, like being afraid for talking in front of many people and without being nervous. The truth is, for some people, these tricks really do work, like for a little while. They feel better, think more clearly, and can control their feelings. But here's some catch. It's not magic. It doesn't work like it will work whole. It's not fix everything. Yes, NLP can help, but not it's a one-time solution. You still have to put enough efforts. Real change doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes practice. You need to be consistent. You have to keep trying. It's hard, but that's a real growth happen. Slowly, step by step. True change, real growth comes from inside you. It doesn't happen by chance. It starts with your thought. You have to change the way you think. That's called shifting your mindset. You want to see things in a new way. I talked about introduction a lot. Now, one of my group member, Prabjeet, will tell you more about key personalities of neuro-linguistic programming.
Hey there, my name is Prabjeet Singh and today we are going to talk about the key personalities in neuro-linguistic programming. Have you ever wondered why some therapists say the right thing at the right time and that they are usually true? And the same thing happened in the University of California, Santa Cruz. This group of people asked the same question. They didn't just want to know about the therapy, they want to know about the patterns behind it. So that's how something called neuro-linguistic programming was born.
Hello, I'm Richard Bandler. I started off just typing up therapy sessions from Frisbee. You know the guy who created Gestalt therapy? I love the therapy, man. But I noticed things, patterns, people, words, gesture, even the way they pose. It all seemed to follow certain rules. So I asked myself, what if we could model this? What if we could take what great therapists do and teach it to others? Hey, John Grinder here, just enjoying my evening coffee. Richard had the instincts, but I had the linguistic background. I taught transformational grammar, which sounds technical, but really it's about how people structure meaning in language. Together we came up with the meta model, a way of noticing when people use limiting language. It helped therapists ask better questions and get to the heart of someone's problem. Really nice work. What it is? NPL. Hey, I'm Robert Diltz. I took what Bandlers and Grinders started and expanded it. I saw NPL as something more than therapy. It could be used in business, education, leadership, you name it. I developed model like logical level, which help people understand, change on different layers. from environment to belief to identity. I created technique like sleight of mouth, which are all about shifting belief through conversation. Yeah.
Here's the thing, NPL is highly criticized. The core idea, the eye movement, show the thoughts of a person, which is not proven in any research. Some experts like Passman and Grimley say there's no any physical evidence, and some even consider NPL as a belief system rather than the real science. That's right, some part of the NPL is not fully backed by proper research, but they have really benefited some people in real life, like building confidence in communication or building goals. Even if it's not a perfect science, but it worked for some people. So what we take at last from all of this, NPL was created by people who want to understand how humans behave. People like Richard Bandler and John Grinder. They built this system based on the behavior, the human thoughts, and so it's still used all over the world, but not everyone's agree with that. Some say it's really beneficial for in personal life, but some say it's not a scientific method. So the reality is in between the both of them.
Okay. Hi, my name is Walter, and today I'm going to break down the main ideas and assumptions about neuro-linguistic programming. First of all, neuro-linguistic programming was created in the 1970s by Richard Lander and John Grinder. They believe that everybody could change the way they feel and act by changing how we communicate with others. Now let's take a look to the main ideas and see if science actually supports them. One of the key concepts that we respond to our perception, not to reality. Neuro-linguistic programming says that we don't react to the world, but how we represent it in our minds. For example, if I'm just walking to the streets and I say hi to someone and they ignore me, I may think, oh, they hate me, or they're just distracted. Two different thoughts, two different feelings. According to neuro-linguistic programming, we all process the world in different ways. Some people through images, sounds, or feelings. For example, let's say imagine your dream vacation. Some people might actually picture the best vacation where they are. Other people will actually think or say, oh, I hear the waves of the ocean. Or other people might actually just imagine themselves somewhere and feel the feeling of that dream vacation. For example, I don't know, talking about myself, when I think about my dream vacation, I always picture how it looks. I think about the ocean, maybe in the Caribbean, maybe with piña colada.
Oh my God! Wow!
Okay, now let's talk about anchoring. Anchoring is connecting a feeling with a physical action, like touching your shoulder. If, for example, I'm feeling so confident right now and I touch my shoulder every single time I feel confident. Later, every single time you touch your shoulder, you will bring back that confidence. So you're relating the action with the feeling. Okay, now let's talk about reframing. Reframing is changing the way you think about something. For example, I'm too scared to speak in public. Saying that to yourself will bring what you're thinking. Maybe we can change that to say, oh, I'm excited because I care. So because we're having two different thoughts that change the way we feel. Sounds useful, right? But what does science say? According to these sources, neuro-linguistic programming shows no proof of consistent results, like scientific validity, and no proof that the representational systems actually exist. So while some of these techniques are useful, that doesn't mean they are scientifically reliable. To sum up, neuro-linguistic programming is a kit of useful techniques, like anchoring your feelings or reframing your thoughts. Even though these techniques are very useful for a lot of people, that doesn't mean it works for everybody. While neuro-linguistic programming isn't backed by a strong scientific evidence, many people still find its techniques helpful for improving communication, building confidence, and setting clear goals. Think of more as a tool for personal growth and reflection than a medical or therapeutic fix. If you are curious to try out one or two techniques like reframing your thoughts or anchoring your feelings and see what works the best for you, just remember to approach it with both openness and critical mind. In the next part of our project, we will dive into the main ideas and assumptions of NLP.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I am Taranjot. I'll tell you more about methods and evidence in neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, claims to use practical techniques to help people change how they think, how they feel, and their behavior. These methods are often used in self-help, therapy, coaching, and also in business trainings. But despite its popularity, the scientific proof behind NLP is weak, or we can say it's missing entirely. Now, there are methods in NLP, starting with, have you ever wished you could instantly feel confident just by doing something simple? Like you can press your fingers together? That's one idea behind NLP. It's a method that claims to change how we think, feel, and behave in the way our brain connects thoughts and language. Now you can also do that, press your fingers together. Okay, and the one question behind it is, have you ever smelled something that brought you back to a strong memory? So it's all about that. Second method is anchoring. Anchoring means linking a physical action like touching your fingers to a feeling. For example, some people use it to anchor confidence before public speaking. It's like how a certain song reminds you of a memory. Now, have you ever smelled something that took you straight back to childhood? I have a lot of memories attached to it, so I can say yes. Third method is mirroring and reframing. Mirroring means copying body language to build connection. So if someone crosses their arms, you do too. Reframing means changing how someone sees a situation. For example, failure becomes learning. Yes, there is a saying that we can learn through our failure only. Most of people does that. But do we really need NLP to know that copying people too much might feel awkward? Coming with next technique, it's timeline therapy and representational systems. Timeline therapy suggests mentally revisiting past experiences on a timeline to clear negative emotions. Representational systems claim we are visual, auditory, or kinesthetic types, but research doesn't support this. So, is this just a simplified way of explaining how we all learn differently? Overall, NLP techniques sound convincing, but the evidence behind them is weak. Most of the support comes from personal stories or self-help books, as we know, but they don't come from real science. A major review by Witwowski in 2010 looked at over 30 years of NLP research and concluded that NLP techniques often perform no better than placebos or regular conversation. Now, I am passing on it to my friend Sukhdeep. She'll explain you more about criticism in NLP.
Hello, I am Sukhdeep. Here I will discuss about the criticism of the neuro-linguistic programming. It might have seen it in motivational videos or coaching programs, and it promises success and confidence like magic. But there is another side. Science call it pseudoscience, and I will explain why. First of all, I will discuss about the lack of evidence. The biggest criticism of the neuro-linguistic is lack of evidence. We all know that science works on experiment and prove that can be better, but NLP does not like that. Its technique is eye accessing cues, where eye movements set to show your thoughts and do not hold up research. And another technique is anchoring, where we can see you link a touch or sound to a positive feeling, and there is also weak evidence. Most of the NLP's test support comes from the testing and the personal stories, and it's not real scientific any testing. Something fails to work in repeated studies and it loses the scientific credibility also, and that is the main reason why the scientific call it pseudoscience. Another I will discuss about the misuse of the science words, and we all know that another criticism of NLP that it uses the scientific words and the neuro-linguistic and programming. When we sound these words, we just understand that these words are connected with the science, neuroscience, and any scientific computer programming. NLP does not connect with actually these sciences, and this kind we can see this kind of words, we can see it's not a science without any science words without any proof. This kind of language makes people believe it is a it is a scientific word, but that is not, we all know that. And third criticism is no standardization. So I will discuss that criticism of NLP has no any single standard, so another can take a short course and call themselves an NLP practitioner. So one trainer might teach one thing and another trainer something completely very different. So because of this, it's very hard to NLP properly understand. Science was consistency. Science needs a consistency to understanding to science. So now finally I will discuss about the ethics. So here I will discuss about the ethics of the criticism. And because there is no regulation or license, anyone can practice NLP and also charge money for it. But this creations like a risk for people who test them, because there are no rules to make sure it's safe or honest for all of them. So without ethical standards, NLP can be easily misused, and I think that is true. These are the main criticism of the NLP, and which we already mentioned: no strong evidence, misuse of these science words, and also no single standard, and also ethical concern. And this is why many experts consider NLP to be a pseudoscience. So that is true, it's a pseudoscience. That's all. Thank you.
After this detailed criticism of neuro-linguistic programming, I will now wrap up with the conclusion, summarizing the key points and reflecting on what we learned about its strength and its weaknesses. So, what's the take of it? What can we really learn from it? NLP is a bit like dispute, beautiful, powerful, and takes a lot of attention. It looks amazing on the surface. It sounds exciting. People talk about it like it's a secret to success. And yes, NLP can be helpful. It can make a difference. It can help people speak better. It can boost your confidence. Maybe growth is something you learn, something you remember. Remembering who you are, what you want to be, and what really matters to you, you can explore in NLP. You can try new tools. You can test ideas. But in the quiet moment, when no one is watching, that where the real work happens. It's not about fixing your health. You are not broken. It's about reconnecting your strength, your voice, the purpose. Because you always had what you need. So maybe the real transformation isn't about changing your everything. Maybe it's about finding and seeing yourself clearly and choosing again and again to look forward. That choice, that quiet decision to keep going. That's the real power. You also need emotion and intelligence. That means understanding your feelings and others' feelings too. And most important part, taking actions, not just words, by again and again. NLP might give you a little push. It can help you start. It can make you feel stronger for a moment. But that feeling doesn't last unless you build good habits. It's those daily habits, small steps every day, that leads to big changes over time. So yes, NLP can be a tool, but lasting change comes from inside you. What you do every day in your heart and mind. That's where real transformation begins.